you are to only be aware of what you desire. So if you only desire certain people, if you only desire a certain type of person, people to be nicer, be more friendly, things to go your way, that's the reality that you exist in. And that's how you need to talk to yourself. That's what you need to keep repeating to yourself, because you start to see physical evidence of it. And when you see physical evidence of it, it becomes a belief for you. You assume it as your truth, and then it just naturally becomes a reoccurring thing. Now that you're here, before we start the video, I would like to go ahead and invite you to join the free Discord community if you haven't done so already, and to also download your free Manifest Your Dream Life ebook. The link for both of those is in the description below. Other than that, let's go ahead and get into the video. Okay, so for today's video, we're going to do a Q&A. I did make a community tab post a couple of weeks ago, which now it's called the post tab, but I had made a post asking if y'all had any questions that y'all wanted me to answer, and I got some responses. So I'm just going to read the questions off and answer them. I'm not going to do all of them, but I'll just go through and answer some of them, okay? Now, I did read through some of them already, and I'm just going to leave this little disclosure because I feel like I got asked this maybe 2 or 3 times. I know that I have mentioned revising death in maybe 1 or 2 other videos, and I know y'all want me to talk about it more. I feel like I created a video specifically dedicated around that, and I'm just going to be honest with you all. Yes, it is possible. Yes, I believe that it is possible. I know that it is possible. It's just not something I'm always 100% comfortable with talking about. And it's just because when I haven't experienced things personally for myself yet, I don't necessarily like to speak on them. That's not discrediting it in any way, because I don't have to experience it to know that it is real. I don't have to experience it to know that it is possible. Because I understand how the law works, and I've seen way too many success stories on it for me to even believe or to even entertain the thought of it not being a possibility. If you still view it as something that is not a possibility, it's just something you need to retrain your mind on thinking. That is it. Continue to consume the information that tells you that it's possible, and continue to tell yourself that something like that is possible. And in your reality, you will have to experience those things. So like I said, I know I got a couple of questions on that. And like I said, I don't mind talking about it. I just don't always like to. But what I will do is, if that is something that you are really interested in, then if you join the Discord, the free Discord, I will make a channel just specifically for that, okay? Like, if you want to talk about this with other like-minded people, this specific topic, if you want to, just share information with other like-minded people who you can feel safe talking to about this, I will create a channel for this specifically, okay, in the Discord. So just look in the description below where it says join the Discord community, free Discord community, and join in, and you'll be able to find the channel once I do it there. The very first question that I got was, I know you answered on revising death, but can you go more in depth how to deal with emotions and dealing with revising it? I'm guessing it's the same as anything else. It's just we don't hear a lot about this in this community, which is sad, and I'm so excited that you're talking about it. So I did remember seeing that comment. That's why I just want to make a safe space for any and everybody who is interested in that topic to talk about it. Because, and the thing is, I will mention it in a video because I know that it's possible. I will mention it because, yes, it is possible. Like, if I don't need science to prove anything to me, but because parallel realities exist, because infinite versions of everything exist, nothing can be destroyed nor created. That means that you are just existing in a reality where it seems that that person no longer exists, but there is still another version of reality, another version of you, another version of that person, where you're in a different timeline and that person still exists, and you're just experiencing that through the version of you who is experiencing that person still. Look at the Mandela effect. The whole thing behind the Mandela effect was, it was either a lady or a few people. I remember specifically a lady, but it could have been a few people that had remembered Nelson Mandela passing away. I want to say maybe around in the 80s or something. It was an earlier time, and then all these years later, she hears of him passing away, and again, and she vividly remembered that he had already passed away. So she was so confused and didn't understand what was going on. And that's where the Nelson Mandela effect was created, where you have things that once were a way but now they seem a different way. And it's just equated to like quantum jumping, timeline shifting. You're just shifting realities. Your consciousness is shifting to versions of you, but you still may remember things being a different way, if that makes sense. So basically, your question was how to deal with the emotions. And I'm going to be honest with you, because this is something that has been taught to us from such a young and early age, that it's final, that it's permanent, and you see people grieving, you see people mourning, you see the emotions. And that's another reason why I will speak about it, but I just don't like to do it too much, because I know the emotional attachment that we have to it. I know that it can put people in states of suffering, those grieving states. Like it's a really painful thing to experience. And how do you deal with those emotions? And if you want me to be 100% honest with you, and this is just from my own personal standpoint, I would say reach a place of calmness, first, because there's no time frame on manifestation. There's no window. There's never a time where you can't manifest something or you can't revise something. You're never running out of time. You're never too late. So if you are in a state where your emotions are so all over the place, and you notice that every time you're affirming and you're getting triggered and it is just causing you this emotional turmoil and you're continuing to spiral, then I would definitely suggest just taking a break. I'm never going to suggest for somebody to continue to persist through something. Although, yes, no matter what you persist in, including this specific topic, no matter what you persist in, if it is your dominant thought that this person is in your reality, nothing ever happened to them, then that is what you have to experience, because that is how the law works. And it's just a very illogical thing, but manifestation is not logical. So, yes, you can persist and make it your dominant thought, no matter how you're feeling, no matter the emotions, no matter how much you cry, no matter how much you're triggered. Yes, you can absolutely manifest that. But if you are noticing that it is just causing you so much pain, so much stress, you maybe are spiraling. None of that stuff keeps you from experiencing your manifestation. But personally, I would just prefer to manifest things from a much calmer state of being, from either a neutral state of being or just a happier state of being. I really don't like manifesting and doing things through that's causing triggers for me. That's how I want to say this. So when you are affirming, right, to experience someone again in your reality and it is making you spiral, take a break. Like, it is okay. Find ways to regulate your nervous system. Meditation is really, really good for that, because you can go into meditation and you can experience that person in your meditation, right? And your subconscious is going to believe that that is a real and physical experience that you're having. And what we know is that when you give your subconscious something and it believes that it's a real experience, it gives you more of that. So yes, that is a technique that you can use, but it also helps to, relieve you of these emotional triggers and just the emotional distress that can be caused by this particular circumstance. And just for personal reference, like, the one of the affirmations that I love is death isn't real, and I proved it to myself. It's definitely an affirmation that can counteract what you've been taught, that death is actually real. And it's it can be such a controversial topic, I guess. But just maybe more so to more logical minded people. Like, if you are going to think illogically, if you're going to allow yourself to open your mind and open up the possibilities for yourself, that's where you free yourself from every single limitation that has been created. And death is just a creation. It is just a creation that we have subscribed to, that we all consciously believe in, that happens because we believe in this aging cycle of being born, growing old, and dying, or, accidents happening, or whatever the case may be. They're all just creations. They're all just things that we believe in collectively. But in your own reality, you are able to eliminate all of that stuff. You are able to change the rules. You are able to change the laws that seemingly exist, because no law exists other than you create your reality. You are the creator. What you assume is true. What you repeatedly tell yourself is true. And nothing is exempt from that. If science can show you that the same particle can exist in multiple places at one time, that is showing you that parallel realities exist. And because parallel realities exist, nothing is excluded from that. It doesn't mean once a person leaves from this reality and they no longer exist seemingly in that reality, that they don't exist in another reality. And I really feel like if you just continue to tell yourself those things, continue to, remind yourself that that is true, you are placing yourself in that reality where you see more evidence of it, you see success stories of it, you experience it yourself. But other than that, just don't get yourself so emotionally wrapped up in like your feelings and emotions come from your thoughts. And if you continually have visualizations and thoughts of the current circumstance, then that kind of keeps you experiencing that thing until you break yourself free from the thought pattern. So when you break yourself free from the thought pattern, your feelings and emotions also change. So find ways to just keep yourself at peace, bring yourself to a neutral state. Understand that whoever the person may be is happy, alive, well, doing well, succeeding, thriving. And once you can view them like that and no longer perceive the reality that you once experienced, you get that as a physical experience for yourself. Okay. So I intend that that answers your question. But like I said, just come into the Discord so I can create a channel, and that way, everybody can just talk amongst each other in a safe space where, you don't have to feel judged for believing what you want to believe. But yes, this is a belief that I have, that it is very much possible. There's just no way that it's not possible. I've seen it too many times. So yeah, it's a different way of thinking, but manifestation is a lifestyle. It's a new way of living when you are consciously creating, because you unconsciously run on autopilot and allow, society conditioning to dictate basically what is true for you. And when you take the driver's side and you take the wheel, you change your entire experience. So I intend that that helps you. It's such a deep question. It is such a deep question, but I don't know, maybe I can make more videos on it, or maybe just make them for the community on Discord. Y'all let me know what you want, leave them in the comments. But yeah, let me go ahead and move on to the next question. So somebody asked, have I ever tried the 17-second manifestation method? I actually have not, because when I found the 17-second manifestation method, I think I was in the law of attraction phase, and I might have set a timer and tried to do it, but I didn't have the essential mental tools that I needed. And the essential mental tool that I needed was, don't think against it once you're done with this 17-second, manifestation session. So my advice to you is, if you do the 17-second manifestation technique, then once you come out of that 17 seconds, you only are to still assume that you are the version of yourself who has what you want. Because I can definitely say that if I tried it, which I really believe that I did, as soon as I was done, I'm back to being, why isn't it happening? Where's the change at? And that's why you're not seeing change, because you're basically stating that you don't see change. And because you don't see change, your subconscious can't just automatically give you change, if that makes sense. Okay, how to master the SATS technique. So honestly, SATS, I feel like there's different versions of SATS, or different beliefs around SATS. So my own personal belief with SATS is that it is just a meditation, and you could be in SATS multiple times throughout the day, because it's SAT stands for state akin to sleep, which is you being in a relaxed state of being. So you're not just in a relaxed state of being when you're on your way to sleep, but you're relaxed when you're taking a shower. You're relaxed maybe when you're walking. You're relaxed when you're driving, sitting on the couch. Like when your body is moving in autopilot and you're not having to think about what you're doing, then that can tend to be, a moment where you are in a relaxed state of being because you're not having to mentally be focused and mentally be present. Anytime you're not mentally present, you tend to be in a more relaxed state, usually, in my opinion. So, you know, of course, with going to sleep at night, that's what Neville talked about with the SATS technique. So, yes, you can make sure that you are showing up for yourself and being consistent with it, because I believe consistency and discipline is like everything. That's why I did create the consistency and discipline workshop. I do have to say that real quick, because consistency, being consistent and being disciplined with anything, no matter what technique it is, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter the technique, but what matters is if you're going to be consistent and disciplined enough to remain that version of yourself. That's the important thing here. You can script, you can visualize, you can meditate, you can do SATs, you can do water method, telephone method, you can do any method that you want. But are you going to be consistent and disciplined to be that version of yourself every single day? Because if you're going to go in and out of you have it and don't have it, then you're going in and out of states of being, and your reality is reflecting that. So consistency and discipline is more so the important thing. And I did create a workshop for that, on how to be consistent and disciplined, and really just having you, it's like a workshop. So it's you showing up for yourself daily, you checking in with yourself daily, making sure that whatever simple routine you have created for yourself, you are able to, show up for yourself in that way. You're not overloading yourself. You're not making your goals unrealistic. You are dedicating 4 weeks of your life to being the version of you who has whatever you desire right now. Like you're showing up as that version of yourself every single day. So if you're interested in joining the consistency workshop, I do have a link in the description below. Today is the last day for you to sign up for it. And then it will be closed, and I will start it again on March 3rd. It's a 4-week workshop. You get weekly live check-ins, daily activities, journal prompts, just all kinds of essential tools that you can use if you need that helping hand. Like if you need that accountability, I definitely made sure to add all of that stuff into the workshop to help you to be accountable, because I know how it can be when you need to be consistent and disciplined. Like that's really all that you're probably lacking. And either you can be that person who has the willpower and the drive to show up for themselves every day, or you're the person who needs a little bit of accountability and assistance. So if you are that person, you can look in the description below and you can come and join the workshop. But with the SATS technique, being consistent is what's going to be the most important part, because as you're going to sleep, you are either going to be affirming as if you have your desire right now, or you're going to be visualizing as if you have your desire right now, or you're going to hear people talking to you as if you have your desire right now. And you're just going to do that repeatedly over and over and over when you're in this like drowsy state of being, which is you just being relaxed. You on your way to sleep is definitely a perfect one. You waking up first thing in the morning is another perfect one, because it's like, you're groggy. So the science behind that is your conscious mind is not awake yet, so it can't interfere with, all of the questioning and the thoughts and the doubting. So follow these steps. If you want to do SATs, no matter what time of the day it is, okay? Just get relaxed. Notice in your body where you're tensed up. Take a few breaths. Release the tension. If you're clenching your hands or your toes, or you're tensed in your muscles, just release that tension. And go ahead and put your focus on having your desire however you would like to, whether you want to affirm it with your affirmation over and over, whether you want to visualize it, visualize an entire scene playing out and you're experiencing it, or as if you're watching a movie, or you pick a small scene and let it play over and over, just looping the same scene. Or you could hear somebody telling you, whatever it is that you're manifesting. Like if you're manifesting money, you could hear your friend saying, "Oh my God, you're so rich now," or, whatever. And just, it doesn't matter what you pick, because they're all equally the same. You are the one that holds the power, not the technique, not the tool. So however you decide to do it, and just replay it over and over and over. But the beautiful thing is, when you're doing it before a nap or before bed, you actually are falling asleep, and you end up falling asleep in the assumption of having your desire. I tested this out one time. I tested sats out one time because I wanted somebody to apologize to me who is like very headstrong, very like, I'm not apologizing, doesn't own up for anything. Like, that was the version of them that I was experiencing. And I didn't like it because we had got into it. So I decided to test out sats for this specific thing. And I was just, affirming on my way to sleep that this person was going to apologize to me. And it took maybe 5 days, 6 days, and of me being consistent. And the person did apologize to me. And since then, I've continued to assume that version of them. So it's, that version of a person who wasn't apologetic and wasn't very compassionate, that version of them doesn't exist anymore. So the only thing that you need with sats is consistency. The only thing you need with any manifestation technique or method is consistency, because if you have consistently thought as the version of yourself who doesn't have what they want or is irritated with their reality or complaining about whatever circumstance, if you can consistently show up like that for yourself every single day, that's what your reality is reflecting. So taking yourself out of that reality, putting yourself into a reality where you actually have everything that you want, and showing up consistently every single day is that version. That's what you want to do, no matter the technique, okay? But definitely try sats out. If anybody has tried sats, uses sats as their method, has success stories with sats, please leave them in the comments below so everybody can be encouraged and inspired by them, okay? Is it possible to eliminate a parallel reality simply because you don't want that specific reality to exist? I saw this question under another YouTuber's post. It was never answered and thought it was a very good question. Okay, it's actually a good question. It's kind of different. So, is it possible to eliminate a parallel reality simply because you don't want that specific reality to exist? So, my answer to any single question, no, I don't care what y'all ask me. I don't care what you ask me. If you ask me if something is possible, I'm going to tell you yes, because I don't believe in limitations. I don't believe in being logical about life. I don't believe in if everything is possible, then this one thing isn't possible. Anything is possible, but this one is the exception. There's no exception to anything is possible. So, now it's me comprehending the question and relaying it to you. So you want to completely remove a reality. In my opinion, if you're not wanting another reality to exist, then you have to take your focus and awareness off of it. If this specific reality is existing, it's because you're focused on it and you're aware of it. And when you want to change any single thing, you take your focus and awareness off of whatever that thing is, and you put your focus and awareness only on what it is that you want. So, if the reality that you don't want to exist no more includes people, shitty circumstances, okay, that reality no longer exists for you. So anytime you are faced with something that seems like it's from that reality, then your only job is to say that doesn't exist in my reality. I don't know what that's about. That doesn't exist in my reality. That's not real. That's an illusion. That's not in my reality. That doesn't exist for me. And that's all you have to do. And then that's all you have to do in that aspect. But then the other thing that you're going to want to do is only put your focus and awareness on the reality that you do desire to experience. So whether you see physical evidence in your reality or not, you are to only be aware of what you desire. So if you only desire certain people, if you only desire a certain type of person, people to be nicer, be more friendly, things to go your way, that's the reality that you exist in, and that's how you need to talk to yourself. That's what you need to keep repeating to yourself, because you start to see physical evidence of it, and when you see physical evidence of it, it becomes a belief for you. You assume it as your truth, and then it just naturally becomes a reoccurring thing. So anytime you don't want something to exist, including a reality, maybe it's a specific person that you don't want to be in your reality no more, whatever it is, you can eliminate all of that stuff. And it's not any ill will, bad intention, none of that. It's just everything exists right now. And that means every possibility, every way that you can put the puzzle together It all exists. So if you want to arrange the pieces where a specific person never existed in your reality, that doesn't mean something bad happened to them. That just means that specific person did not exist in your reality. That you don't know who they are. I mean, there's 8 billion people in the world, from, what the stats or Google say or whatever. You don't know all 8 billion people of the people in the world. So this person who you seemingly knew about no longer exists. They are a part of the 8 billion people that you don't know. That's just how it goes. So treat the specific person like that. Treat the reality like that. Like, yes, anything can be eliminated. Nothing has to be experienced if you don't want it to be experienced for yourself. Like, all you have to do to get rid of these things is to take your awareness off of it. I always use the plant as an example. When you water the plant, you pay attention to the plant, it thrives. But the moment you take your attention off of it, you're no longer aware that the plant exists. It shrivels away, like it dries up and it doesn't exist no more, unless you create the assumption that you don't have to water plants because they just exist perfectly for you. Okay, that's a possibility too. But if you don't believe that and you are used to the natural way of you got to water the plants, then that is what happens. Okay, so with the reality, if there's a reality you don't want to exist, ignore it like you ignore the plant. It doesn't exist. It's not there, and it has to dwindle away. It cannot survive. Anything in your reality is only surviving because of your awareness of it, because you are aware that it exists. You are aware that it's real. You are aware that it is a truth for you. Don't be aware of it. Take it out of your awareness. And the way you do that is by focusing on what you actually do want. Now you're actually consciously placing your awareness on something specific. And now you're paying attention to that thing. And whatever it was that you didn't want to exist can't exist because you can't even think of it, because you're too focused on your desired reality that then becomes your physical current circumstances. I intend that makes sense. All right, so a proper discipline or routine to follow and about a good mental diet. All right, so I believe that you should have a very simple routine. All right, I really believe that your routine should be simple, because when you make it simple for yourself, you are not trying to overdo it. Again, this is why I created the consistency workshop, because consistency and discipline, it's literally hand in hand. So to be disciplined, you have to give yourself a starting point. If you are somebody who is an overachiever and you like to go big or go home, and you want to lay out all these goals that you're going to do every single day, you're going to do 3 hours of meditation, an hour of scripting, an hour of visualization, and that's your routine that you want to follow. Is that realistic for you? Is that you meeting yourself where you're at? Is that really what you can handle right now? Be honest, because I feel like that's where a lot of people mess up with their routine. And then that's where your consistency and discipline messes up, because you're trying to give yourself too much of a load. And I know this from personal experience, because I used to do this. I used to try to give myself too much of a load, and I'm not able to accomplish everything within my day, within other tasks that I have in my day. And now I'm feeling defeated because I haven't been able to complete the things that I wanted to complete. So now I'm looking like, dang, I'm not going to be consistent no more because I can't even get this stuff done. And now your discipline goes out the window. Creating an easy routine for yourself that makes sense for you. Do something, pick something that you want to do that is reasonable first thing when you wake up in the morning. Pick something that you can do that is reasonable, that you can do in the middle of your day. Pick something that is also reasonable that you can do at nighttime or before bed, and write it out. Whatever it is, pick it out and stick to it. Make it simple though. Don't try to overdo it. If you only have 5 minutes in the morning, then you only have 5 minutes in the morning, and you need to write that down, because what's going to happen is you're going to show up for yourself for 5 minutes, because you got 5 minutes to show up for yourself. You have 5 minutes to affirm. You have 5 minutes to script. You have 5 minutes to visualize. So what's going to happen is that's so easy for you to do. You're going to show up for yourself every single day. You're going to be consistent. You're going to be disciplined, right? And what's going to happen is you're going to wake up one day and be like, you know what? I actually got 10 minutes today because I want to do this a little bit longer. It feels good. I'm happy. My reality is looking good. Let me go ahead and do this longer. So you're making your routine reasonable for you, and then it makes it easier for you to be disciplined, right? And then with that, I'm glad that you asked about a mental diet, because with that should come a good mental diet. Because no matter what the routine is, your routine is also like training wheels. Your routine is to help you get in the habit of being consistent and disciplined with being the version of you who has what they want. But also tied into that is the mental diet, because what are you doing outside of those times that you're doing your routine? If you have set a routine that is simple for you to follow, and it is something 3 times out of your day, first thing in the morning, middle of the day, at nighttime, what are you doing outside of those times that you have set for your routine? Are you thinking still as the version of yourself who has it if your desire pops up? Or are you complaining and dwelling in your circumstances? The complaining and dwelling doesn't stop you from getting your manifestation, but it also doesn't benefit you. It doesn't benefit you in no kind of way. And in my opinion, it can prolong you. That could just be an assumption, but I feel like it can prolong your manifestation. You're still going to get what you want regardless. You're still going to get what you want no matter what. But I feel like you're just making it harder on yourself. You're making it harder on yourself when you are thinking thoughts that are not in line with what you want. So mental diet is important. And to have a good mental diet, you just need to be aware. You need to be aware of who you're being throughout your day. I am aware of who I'm being so much throughout my day that I'll catch myself when I'm about to limit myself, or if I say something, then I'm follow it back door and like, dang, I just limited myself in that way. I need to go ahead and change that, because your limitations can naturally just come out of your mouth because that's what you've naturally been experiencing. And until you become aware and you learn how to catch yourself and you learn how to be aware of what you're saying and thinking, and that just comes with practice. Like I don't know how to tell y'all to become more self-aware other than paying attention to yourself. Notice what you're saying. Notice what you're doing. Notice what you're thinking, But when you are aware of yourself, that's where you can catch yourself in those moments where you're about to have a bad mental diet, you're about to start complaining, about to stop dwelling, about to start, spiraling and stuff. Because you're aware now, you can stop and be like, oh no, absolutely not. That doesn't even exist in my reality anyway. Everything in my life is perfect. I'm so happy with my life. Everything goes my way. You have the opportunity to do that when you are aware and you have a good mental diet. So, again, because I already told y'all about the consistency workshop, again, you see how important being consistent and being disciplined is. The link is in the description below if you need to join. Okay, I would be grateful for more meditation and void state, pure consciousness, I am state videos, especially for those whom have been attempting to induce these states for a while with no success. AKA me. Okay, I got you. I definitely am going to start posting more meditation videos and stuff. That was a goal of mine for this year. I do really want to do that. I've had to find balance in my own life, learn how to create my own little time schedules to be consistent for myself. So now that I've been able to accomplish that, I am able to find places throughout my day where it's easy for me to meditate because, like I said, I was setting unrealistic goals for myself, and that made me be aware that how can you be consistent and disciplined when you're setting unrealistic goals? All of those go hand in hand. So, definitely meditation videos will be coming this year because I do want to post that. I feel like not a lot of people post meditation videos aligned with maybe success stories and stuff. So that's something that I definitely want to focus on. As far as like the void state, pure consciousness, I feel like I made a video on it. But the thing is this, like everybody has a different perception of everything, right? I will say, I feel like the void state is a really deep meditation. It's just you getting into a deep meditation. Other people may feel differently, but the thing is, because I went down the Tumblr rabbit hole once upon a time and was like, what is the void state? You can manifest instantly in that. And I'm reading all these success stories of how people are going to the void state, coming out, and they have completely new wardrobes, cars outside, new house, new appearance, like instantly, right? And at first, I'm not going to lie, like my mind was kind of blown when I was seeing that stuff because I'm like, how is that even possible? But I kept reading, I kept taking the information, and I reached a version of myself where I'm like, of course this is possible. Like, I don't even question it. It may sound illogical and wild and crazy to the average person, but no, I believe anything is possible. So the thing is, when I was in that state and I was like studying it and all of that, I was telling myself for one day while I was working all day, I wake up in the void state, I wake up in the void state, I wake up in the void state. And I just kept telling myself that I wake up in the void state, I wake up in the void state. And what I ended up doing was I am a night owl, so I can be up all night long. Like I'll be up to about 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. So I waited till I got really drowsy and I lay down. to meditate because I was intentionally not trying to go to sleep, but I laid down to meditate, and I laid down, told myself I wake up in the void state, I wake up in the void state, I wake up in the void state. And I don't know, something because my focus and attention was on the void state, I could feel my body, like I could feel me like raising up out of my body, if that makes sense. I could feel that happening. And I've always experienced sleep paralysis, so I could feel me coming out of my body, and then I existed in this really dark space. And I could still interact with my own thoughts because I just remember existing and being like, "Oh, I think this is the void. I made it." And then I'm like, "Ooh, this is so cool." And then I ended up back in my room. So I did mention this in another video. Somebody said I astral projected. Everybody has a different perception. All I know is I know what I experienced and I felt it. And then I ended up back in my room, but I wasn't in my body. So this was I don't know, the astral projection part, the sleep paralysis induced part, because I was floating all around my room from wall to wall. And normally something like that would have scared me because, like I said, I used to experience sleep paralysis like all the time. In my like early 20s and prior, like probably 13 to early 20s. I used to experience it a lot, and it used to freak me out until I like did some more research and kind of just understood that I could talk to myself and calm myself out of it. So then I ended up just telling myself, I'm back in my body now, I'm back in my body now. And then boom, I was like able to move and stuff because I was aware I couldn't move my body, but I was just like floating all over the room. And I know if you've never experienced something like that, it probably sounds super wild and crazy, but trust me, like life is so illogical. We have just been conditioned to think that shit is so logical, and it's really not. When you remove that veil of things being so logical, so straight lines, so realistic, you free yourself from a lot of limitations and you can really experience a lot of stuff. So, if you want to experience the void state, just tell yourself how easy it is to get into the void state. It's so easy to get into the void state. I wake up in the void state. Just tell yourself things like that. Don't put so much emphasis on it. Don't put it on a pedestal. Don't be so, oh my gosh, I can't get into it. Oh, I keep trying to get into the void state and it's not working. That's why it's not working. Just tell yourself it's so easy to experience it. And you know, it could be a journey for you, but you'll eventually get it. You'll understand and you'll assume that version of yourself. Okay, so I this video has gotten really, really long. So two things that I'm going to do. I'm going to read this last question and answer it, but I noticed that I have a bunch of like revision questions or like some questions that can kind of be grouped. So what I'll do is, because I didn't get nowhere near through the questions, all these questions for y'all, but the video is also really long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and group some of these questions together and make separate videos on them for you all just in the coming days. I'll go through and put some of this stuff together for you all because y'all did ask some really great questions that I do want to answer. And of course, if you asked a question in the tab, you can also ask it in the Discord community and everybody can also give you their perspective on it as well. But I'll answer this one last question. Y'all just be on the lookout for future videos. You said, hi, Tierica. It would be great if you could talk about pendulums. Sometimes I'm confused because people often say to flip your negative thoughts and that your affirmations are like your safety net. But what if your negative thoughts are so loud and you feel so stressed? Do you just flip them with indifference? Please share your perspective. This is a good question. And this is the thing. When you have opposing thoughts, when you have negative thoughts, and when you feel like you are basically being attacked by those thoughts, like don't run from them. I know, you know, you can be told just flip them instantly, just flip them instantly. And yeah, you can do that. Like different things work for different people, but if you are trying to flip a thought instantly and it is not working, then or you're not seeing a change for yourself, then just start acknowledging these negative thoughts. Ask that thought, why are you here? What is your purpose? What do you expect to accomplish here? Like, you're not real. You don't exist for me. Thoughts are like the clothes that you wear. You can choose to put on clothes. You can choose to put on whatever color clothes you want. You can choose to entertain whatever thoughts you want to entertain. If a thought comes up, it doesn't mean you have to wear it. It came from within you from somewhere, but it doesn't mean you have to wear it, and that means you don't have to entertain it. So don't feel stressed out about a thought. what I've done in most cases, when I can tell that I have thoughts that are just like da 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 da, and they just don't stop, and they're just I go into meditation. Y'all know I like 420. I hit my little 420 before I go into my meditation. I turn my subliminals on, and I will just lay there and affirm and affirm and affirm and affirm and affirm. And I mean, I'll lay there for an hour. I will lay there for 2 hours. I've set my timer for 3 hours, and sometimes I fall asleep, and then I wake up and I go right back to affirming. It's like I can't even remember if I fell asleep or not, because it's like as soon as I awake, I'm immediately affirming as if I never stopped. So that's what I choose to do when I have such stressful thoughts. And I just recently had to do that for myself because got some news in my 3D reality that I did not like at all. And if I didn't have the knowledge of the law of assumption, if I didn't have the knowledge that I was a conscious creator, then a previous version of myself, yes, would have got so wrapped up in this story, so just defeated. And that's just not what I want to experience. But I also know we're not meant to suffer. We're not meant to, experience all this dreadful, hard stuff that we think we're supposed to experience. So when it came down to that situation, I just was like, nope, 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 forget this. And I went and just affirmed and affirmed and affirmed and like, that's it. That's all I did. And it took 2 days and I shifted, but I kept doing it, kept affirming, kept affirming, kept affirming. And now I basically have reached a point where I see the 3D reality. I see the circumstances unfolding and playing out, but I know what the end of the goal looks like. I know what the end story looks like. I know what the manifestation looks like, if that makes sense. And I not only am thinking from that reality, but I also can feel from that reality now. I shared this with my group coaching members in our live stream, but I can really feel from that reality now. I'm not stressed out. I'm not worried. I don't have negative opposing thoughts. I don't have thoughts just eating away at me, even though I did in the beginning, because this is something that you wouldn't want to hear. And it causes you, when you experience things that you don't want, it causes you to like, your mind can go haywire. I get it. But that's what I do. That's what makes it the easiest for me. I just affirm and affirm and affirm and affirm and affirm. I got myself out of a severely depressed state by doing the same exact thing, just affirming, 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 affirming. Because repetition is what impresses the subconscious. Repetition is what the subconscious understands. So if you continue to just tell yourself the same thing over and over, you have to assume that version. And now I'm able to put words on it because I can literally feel. I once felt away. I had thoughts coming in, and now I literally don't have those thoughts. I don't have those feelings, which your feelings are manifested from your thoughts. None of those from that previous version of me exist right now. I only know what I decided is the truth. And it's made it so much easier now for me to just affirm in peace, to visualize in peace, to know that that is the outcome. And that makes it easier. Now, I don't know if when you were mentioning pendulum, if you were basically saying like going back and forth with these thoughts, or if you actually meant a physical pendulum, because I have a physical pendulum. I used to be super into that. So if you were, okay, because you know whose comment it was. If you really meant a physical pendulum, let me know, and I'll just make a video or something on it. But I feel like you were maybe talking about pendulum as far as like back and forth with your thoughts, between having a negative thought, having a positive thought, having to flip it, trying to stay here, but you're still back there. Like it's a back and forth motion until you decide that it's no longer a back and forth motion. And for me, the easiest way for me to do that is to go and stop the back and forth with myself, because it's all just a battle within. It's battling your own self and your own thoughts. You don't have to battle yourself. You have control. So you're going to state what it is. Like, that's it. You're going to state what the truth is. And because I know, just repeat, 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 repeat. That's what has worked for me. That's what I continue to do. So my biggest thing that I would say for you is when those negative thoughts and things come up, why are you here? Like you don't exist. You know what I'm saying? Like if you feel like you are just so drained by them, you can talk to them. Why are you here? Why are you existing? Like you're not real. That's not my reality. You don't exist here. Go away. What's your purpose? What's your point? You're not going to ever get an answer to it. There's never going to be an answer. Or if that doesn't work for you, then the robotic affirming. Like, that's what I love to do. Sometimes if I have a thought comes up and it just pops up out of nowhere, I'll be like, I don't even know what that's about, because no, that's not even true. Like, what? And then I'll go ahead and state what my truth is. I'll go ahead and state what I decided on. But either one works. It's just what you decide and what feels the best for you. So you can talk to them and flip them, or you can robotically affirm and experience a new version of you where those thoughts don't even exist no more, because they can't, because you're a different version of yourself. You assumed a different state of being, and with that state of being comes different thoughts, natural thoughts. And those natural thoughts are no longer the ones from the previous state of being, if that makes sense. So I intend that that helps you. But if y'all have any questions or comments for me, please leave them down below. Other than that, if you are interested in any type of assistance, guidance, or membership, I do have coaching, phone call coaching, email coaching, membership. All of that's available. The link is in the description below. If you watch this video until the end, which I know this one was a long one, I just like to talk, y'all. I like to talk, and this is my favorite topic. This is what I will talk about so long. So if you watch this video until the end, I appreciate you so much, and I will see y'all in the next video. And I also intend to see you inside of the Consistency and Disciplined workshop. If you're seeing this video after February 5th, I intend that you come back for March 3rd. The next consistency workshop will start up March 3rd. But if you're seeing this video before, then go ahead and look in the description below and sign up for that workshop. Come join us in the workshop, because it can definitely help you, okay? Consistency and discipline is all that you need, all right? I appreciate you all, and I'll see you in the next video.